The delegation of also participated in the meeting of the Interparliamentary Union, the IPU, and also the National Day of Africa in COP23. The PAP Day, which organized on the 14th of November 2017, was a good opportunity for PAP to have discussions with other stakeholders, particularly participation of the honorable members and the staff of PAP, various parallel events, and the meetings and the meeting of the group of African negotiators organized by the various players, the UN, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector. The team of coordination of PAP of COP23 has prepared a program of events in order to inform the President and the Vice Presidents and other members of the delegation and facilitate their participation. We have participated to a certain number of activities related to events related to the Africa's Day, the IPU conference, and other events of PAP, press conferences, bilateral meetings with various stakeholders. In total, there was during this conference 410 parallel events, but we could only participate to 50 events, that is about 12% of all the events, parallel events. The great number of events organized during this conference, which deals with various technical topics, supposes the participation of standing committees of our parliaments, given their importance for the mandate of these standing committees. As a result, the report recommends that PAP envisages the participation of all the standing committees, including the bureaus of committees and the staff, to the parallel events which take place during the COPs. As I said earlier, there were a lot of events. There was an IPU day, and I will not dwell on it, but you must know that on the 12th of November, a delegation of PAP, led by its president, participated to the IPU day in COP23, which was celebrated at the University of Bonn. Usually, the IPU organizes an annual day during the COPs, and that day of COP23 saw a massive participation of parliamentarians coming from various parts of the world. The parallel event PAP to COP23 on the 14th of November, PAP has organized its annual event during COP23 at the South African Pavilion. This parallel event was organized on the theme, the role of African parliamentarians in the ratification and the implementation of the Paris Agreement. The main aim covered by international media. So what was the value added? What could be retained from all this? The value added and the teachings that PAP has had through its participation in COP3 were, among others, the meet has put PAP on orbit in order for Africa to be heard on climate change. Second, a better comprehension, understanding of the shortcomings as concerns the mitigation of the climate change effects and particularly the women and the children in Africa are marginalized in decision-making. Third, the importance of the voice of Africa and the testimony, welcome of the messages of the President. Four, there were a lot of meetings which have allowed PAP to add its voice to the debate on climate change, and particularly on the request to developed countries to respect their agreement, their commitments, and particularly as concerns Paris Agreement 5, the process of CCN UCC, this role was enhanced. Mr. President, the delegation of PAP to COP23 faced some difficulties of technical nature. We'll not get into details, and the support staff will draw the necessary lessons and will, in order for them to better themselves for the future conferences. I will spare all these problems that we have faced, that is in terms of budget, in terms of organization. Mr. President, now I come to the recommendation in order for PAP to draw more benefit through its participation to a certain number of events which take place during this conference. It is important to take on board, among others, the following recommendation at the technical level. Considering the experience that has been acquired up to now, PAP should organize a full workshop which brings African negotiators and experts from developed countries in order to inform parliamentarians on the Paris and also on the processes, responsibilities, and the challenges of this conference. Given that the processes for the implementation of this framework convention have to do with all the vital sectors for African progress, agriculture, energy, gender, migration, health, infrastructure, and I will add transport because this is a parallel theme. It takes, just like other sectors of activity, the possibility for the Pan-African Parliament to amend its rules of procedure in order to create a standing committee on climate change. But here the opinions are divergent. The process of modification is quite lengthy, but we can create simply an office